everybody, thanks for joining us today. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys had a wonderful and long weekend. Excited to be here with you guys on Tuesday. If you know how Site Review Tuesday works, go ahead and get a number in the chat for me. I'm looking for a number between 1 and 112. That is going to help us pick the first site that's going to be reviewed live today. Now, if this is your first time hanging out with us on Site Review Tuesday, let me just explain a little bit about how this works. Whenever you submit your site to be reviewed, and we're going to throw those links out for you guys in the chat here in a second if you haven't submitted your site yet, but whenever you submit your site gets a random kind of number assigned to it. Now, you can't see the number. It is a random number, but then we ask for numbers from the live chat audience, and that helps us determine which sites to review. That way we get to pull some random sites up to review here on Site Review Tuesday. So make sure you have submitted your site. If you haven't, if you're out on YouTube, you can find the link to submit your site in the description below the video. If you're hanging out with us on Zoom, like Belinda, Cliff, Eduardo, Katie, and Marilyn, you guys, we'll throw that link out for you guys in the chat here in just a second. I'll have Katie do that for you. Now, the way it works today, we're going to be reviewing 3 websites, 15 minutes per site for review, and then that third site is going to come from one of you guys who are hanging out with us live. So again, if you haven't had a chance to submit your site, make sure you get it put in that link so there's a chance for that site to be reviewed today. And as always, we're giving points, but we're not really keeping score. This is all to hopefully help everyone get a better and more efficient and functional website. Now, hanging out with me today, taking care of you guys both on YouTube and on Zoom. So she has her work cut out for her, but she does a wonderful job. Please make sure that you show some love to Katie. Again, she's taking care of you guys out on Zoom and on YouTube as well. So let's see. On YouTube, we've got Michael B, Noel S, Donald, Doug Gabbard, Kathy Bennington hanging out with us. So thank you guys for joining us. Kathy from High River, Alberta. She's getting used to having lunch with us on Tuesdays. Nice, Kathy. What are you having for lunch? Just curious. Share it with us. Let us know. All right. Let's see. We've got Attila joining us again from, is it Geneva, Illinois? Am I saying it right? And then Cliff said it's the first time, so no site yet. He started building today. Hey, Cliff on Zoom, thanks for jumping on here and hanging out with us. You're going to see some really good examples of Zenfolio websites. You're going to get some really good ideas on things that you can do with your site. So this is a really great place to be, especially if you are first time here on Zenfolio. So we welcome you to the community. Just as some quick announcements, this Thursday on Zenfolio Live, I'm super excited about this Zenfolio Live episode. We're going to be talking about photo philanthropy, talking about using your camera for good. We're going to do an interview with Lisa Nalvin. She's an amazing photographer. She does a lot of photo philanthropy. Really excited about this one, so make sure you guys put that in your calendar. And if you're not registered for Zenfolio Live emails, if you're on YouTube, you can do that by registering by using the link in the description below. Okay, let's see. As I mentioned, there are live stream email reminders that you can register for. Again, if you're on YouTube, you can do that. The description's going to be, or the link's going to be in the description below. If you are hanging out with us on Zoom, you are already registered for Site Review Tuesday, but there is Zenfolio Live that you can register for as well. That link is going to be zenfolio.com/community/events. And in fact, you can go there and see all of our upcoming live events. So make sure that you guys register for those. And as you guys saw in the intro, we are sharing some of your photos now. So this month, we are encouraging you to share your favorite wildlife photos. And when you do that on Instagram, make sure that you use that hashtag Zenfolio Photographers for a chance for that image to be featured on the YouTube intro and on our social media platform. So again, that hashtag is hashtag Zenfolio Photographer for a chance for your image to be featured. Okay, let's see. Looks like the first number that I saw thrown out in chat was from Donald Larson. Thanks, Donald, for being on top of that. I saw, no, I'm sorry. It was from Michael B on YouTube. Michael, thanks for being on top of that. Looks like it's number 75. So I'm going to go grab website 75 really quick. We'll get 15 minutes up on the clock and we will get this review started. So let me grab this link really quick. I'm going to go ahead and copy that link, throw it out to you guys on Zoom chat, and then I'll throw it out to you guys on YouTube as well. There we go. And that is going to be robertdsosaphotography.com. So let me get that site pulled up right over here, and we'll get that review clock going. So let me get that site pulled up right over here. And let me get 15 minutes up on the clock and we will get this party started. All right, so we got 15 minutes up on the clock. And so just starting out up here, I just want to kind of take a look at some of this stuff up here really quick. So there's a couple of things that look like is going on here, Robert. It looks like you have your homepage logo and your header turned on without the logo on. And so we're kind of seeing this weird header bar up here. And it's got some extra text, but looks like it's kind of getting cut off here. Now that's due to the window size. So if I do kind of grab this window and resize it a little bit, that text does come up here. But it's something you want to check, right? Whenever you're setting up your site, make sure that you check it on multiple sizes of windows to make sure that this stuff right here is not getting cut off like this is right here. Now, the other thing that's going on here on the homepage is that we kind of have this homepage logo here, and it's not really showing in your header. And if we kind of navigate to other portions of your site, we're going to see that that kind of goes away. So that is because this is in the homepage logo section. So not sure if this is the look you're going for, if maybe you're working on a logo and you haven't quite got one updated, or what's going on here. This is a little strange, so I would definitely consider coming to the homepage and maybe even maybe either turning that homepage logo off right up here, or getting that homepage logo into your site header, maybe cutting down this message a little bit, or taking this message that's right here and actually putting it in maybe the welcome message of your website, and then maybe on your portfolio captions. So there's a lot of options that you do have here to kind of shape this up a little bit. So a couple of those different things, definitely things that you can do to kind of shape this up. Right now, it just is kind of odd with this cutoff text. And then we have this like logo right here that's kind of sticking out in the middle of nowhere. Now, the other thing that I want to point out here, first of all, absolutely beautiful images. Love the wildlife photography. Love the photos that I'm seeing. I think that they're absolutely beautiful. But one of the things that I am noticing is that we do see the watermark here in the background. Now, I'm on the fence when it comes to watermarks on images online. I definitely understand the reason to have it there, because obviously screenshotting is always a thing that you want to worry about as a photographer. However, on the homepage here might not be the best place to have watermarks. Again, I'm not telling you to remove the watermarks. I'm just telling you it's something to think about. You can create a special gallery of images just for your homepage and remove the watermarks just from that gallery. So if I go into your artwork for sale or your galleries or anything like that, and I'm looking through your images, the rest of your images would be watermarked, while the particular images that are showing on your homepage would not be watermarked. And that's definitely something that you could think about here. Now, the other thing that we're seeing is we're not seeing a lot of text information here. So we do kind of have this little footer section down here, but there's not any information in the footer. So you might either want to just go ahead and hide it, or go down here and put a little bit of information about the type of photography you do in this the footer menu down here. This is a good place to add some text as well. Now, it looks like I'm only seeing 2 images on the homepage. I would definitely consider adding some more images. You know, usually I recommend anywhere from 5 to 10 images at the most on the homepage, depending on the style of homepage that you're using, the setup that you have, all that kind of stuff. But I would definitely consider adding some more than just 2 right now. These are some beautiful photos. I can't wait to go in and kind of see the rest of your work, but definitely something that I would consider. Now, let's talk a little bit about probably the most important thing on any photography website, and that's going to be the navigation, right? So up here we have portfolio, we have about, and we have contact. So let's go ahead and jump into your portfolio and just take a look here and see what we have. Now, a couple of things right out the gate that I want to point out here. Under portfolio, we do have access to all photographs here. Definitely something that I usually recommend you probably not want to show. And if you're curious on how you can hide that, you can just go into your site settings and turn off the top level all photographs group from showing up in your site breadcrumbs. Now, the reason that I recommend not showing this is because as you're building your site, chances are sooner or later, you are probably going to want to have some content that you're just storing on your Zenfolio account, right? Maybe it's where you're backing up your cell phone photos. Maybe you're backing up photos. Maybe you have client images that are not really for the public to view, but for your clients, at some time you're probably going to want to have a part of your account that's not really for public viewing. And when you give access to the all photographs group, if I were to click on that, that basically takes us to the main hard drive, so to speak, section of your Zenfolio account. So once we go in there, we would basically be seeing everything that you uploaded. Now, if you password protected the gallery, obviously we couldn't see the images unless we entered the password, but that goes to the question of this is where you need to really section off your account and control what's visible and accessible through the front side of your site. In other words, let's not have all photographs here to show so that I can't click here and try to access stuff that I shouldn't be trying to access. Now, on the topic of the portfolio here that we're looking at, you are using a portfolio grid. So this is a group where we can click on these different galleries and go and view these different portfolios. However, this is definitely something where you could kind of make this navigation a little bit easier for your clients. Now, before I talk about that, I do want to talk about the fact that this says portfolio, but really what I feel like I'm looking at is I'm looking at work that you've done that you want to sell, right? I feel like there should be a really distinct separation between your portfolio of the work that you're for hire for and the work that you've created that you're trying to sell. In other words, if you're a portrait photographer, having a portfolio showing examples of your portrait works versus if you're a wildlife and landscape photographer, having a section on your site set up to sell the work that you've created, the artwork that you've created, the landscape or wildlife photos. I do feel like that is important. What do you guys think in chat though? Curious. Do you guys think that there needs to be a distinction between that? Is portfolio enough? Should this say something like galleries or artwork for sale or wildlife portfolio? Just curious what your guys' thoughts are on chat on that particular topic. Now, going into how could you make this portfolio navigation much more streamlined for your visitors? This is where you could definitely integrate a drop-down menu, right? So instead of, as a visitor, instead of having to click on portfolio and then click on a specific portfolio to view, and then having to go back to portfolio, and then clicking on another one, we could access that from a drop-down. Now, I do notice that you have inside of each portfolio is also kind of broken down into some sub-galleries. So I would definitely consider having a drop-down, whether it's galleries, work for sale, photos, whatever you want to call it, having this be a drop-down where at least we can choose from these main categories. And then once we click on one of those, then we would be presented with the subcategories in the grid view. So that is one of the ways you could do it. So this would be hover over this, a drop down would be here, and we'd see Alaska, Antarctica, the Arctic, and we'd click on there and then go directly to that particular portfolio, kind of bypassing that other page. It's just going to make that navigation much more simple, much more streamlined, more efficient for your visitors to quickly get to the photos and information that they're looking for. Okay? Now, taking a step back here, the other thing that I would definitely recommend is using your group and gallery captions. So, and as well as thinking about the way that you title your photos. Guys, this is something that I say almost every single Site Review Tuesday. The way that you title your galleries and your groups matters to SEO, right? So when you're setting up your account, I know a lot of times we think about, oh, we're going to call this gallery or group Arctic because this is for our internal organization. And what we don't realize is that that gallery title or that group title also shows up to search engines, right? And so you want to think about the way that you're titling this, just adding a little bit more information than just Arctic. You could say something like wildlife and nature photos in the Arctic, galleries of my Arctic wildlife and landscape photography, something like that, where you're just adding a little bit more information than Arctic in that gallery title. And then expanding on that in the group caption, in the gallery captions, kind of as you've done here, but then also in the gallery captions as well. So let's go ahead and just click on one of these. Beautiful images though, very beautiful, beautiful work. And okay, so this is not a sub-gallery. So this is actually directly into a gallery. Okay, so we'll just take a look at this really quick. Beautiful work though, just lovely, lovely photos. Again, going back to my original comment of let's use the gallery captions up here. And then I want to scroll down because I'm curious to see, look at that. Just some beautiful photos, Robert. Just absolutely beautiful photos. But I'm curious to see, do we have categories and keywords on down here? So again, down here at the bottom, if you've taken the time to keyword categorize your photos, unfortunately, you're not getting any benefit from that because Google is not seeing that information because you don't have it showing down here at the bottom. So if you're curious to know, well, how Robert said something about keywording, categorizing my photos, and then making sure it shows. If you go on our YouTube channel and you just type in SEO, I'm sure there'll be tons of videos that will pop up on that. But one thing that's super important to know is that if you categorize and keyword your galleries and caption them, all of that information needs to actually show on the visible side of your website in order for search engines to take it into account, to rank your site accordingly, and for that information to actually give you some kind of benefit. Okay. The other thing that I'm looking at here is I see this select photos, I see share, and it looks like it says price list coming soon. So it looks like you're working on your current price list. So that's fine that you kind of let us know up here. Again, I would definitely consider using the gallery captions to communicate this information here as well. But love to see some pricing on here. Okay, let's go back to your portfolio and let's look at a couple more really quick. Let's go to Australia. Just because I like Australia, one of the places I've always wanted to visit. Curious, you guys on chat, a place that you've always wanted to visit and photograph and haven't got a chance to yet. Throw it in chat. Curious to see where you guys want to go. Okay, let's see. Same feedback here. Looks like you do have the site set up super consistent, so nice job there. Everything looks the same. The colors are the same. Nothing's really changing on me. So I think that this is really nicely done as far as the themes go. I would just definitely kind of get in here and think about the way this is kind of set up here. All right. Guys, we got like 2 minutes left for this review, so I need you guys to go ahead and throw a number in the chat. Either you guys on Zoom or on YouTube, throw a number in the chat. That's going to be 212 to 315. That's going to determine the next site that we review live. So go ahead and throw a number in the chat, 212 to 315, and we're going to keep moving on. Let's go check out your About page really quick, Robert. All right, cool. So big thumbs up for having an actual photo of you on your About page. Team Nikon as well. So 2 thumbs up from me, at least, on Team Nikon. I don't know how many photographer sites I go and I don't even see a photo of the photographer here. So good job having that done and set up. And it looks like, let me get my timer out of the way here. It looks like we've got a little bit of information in here. So really what I would think about is this. This is the exercise that I would encourage you to do, Robert. I would encourage you to think about who is your target client, who are the people that you're wanting to get to see your images, and what kinds of things do you think that they're searching for, and then start mentioning those specific words in your about message, in your captions, in your categories, and all of that stuff. So figuring out who's the target client, who are you trying to get these photos in front of to hopefully have them purchase, and then how can you put information, text information in your site to help your site show up when those type of people are doing search results. If you guys have not checked it out yet, I did an interview, it was probably several years ago, with she's a wonderful marketer. Her name is Anna Teresa. I can't pronounce her last name, but we did a whole session on talking about identifying your target client. So if you go to our YouTube channel, do a search for that. That'll give you some really good ideas of what I'm talking about here. Overall, Robert, I think the biggest thing is let's kind of figure out what's going on here on the homepage. And one of the things too is that I can't even get to your homepage now, that I've kind of left that. So that's important to realize too, is that I have to go back here and hit home. So we need to probably have a home button in your header menu. But really the biggest things that I would consider here is let's take a look at this, your portfolio navigation. Let's think about the logo, the placement, and then that portfolio drop down, right? That portfolio navigation experience. How can we set that up to be more efficient, more navigational friendly, easier to get people to the images that they want to look at without having to do a lot of back and forth through this portfolio menu? Because again, this could get really cumbersome when somebody's looking through your site because they have to go here, then they have to click back up here to go to the next portfolio that they want to see. All right. Hey, Robert, thank you so much for submitting your site. That sound means that we are out of time. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. And let's see. Let me grab the next site here. Who threw the number out there first? I saw Marilyn Sumner with 303. So let me go grab site 303. We'll get started on that review. Guys, if you haven't submitted your site yet, after this site's review, I'm going to take a quick break. You guys will get to chat with Katie for a minute, and then I'll come back and do the live chat audience site review. So if you haven't submitted your site yet, you still have some time. And I think Katie threw that link out in the chat for you guys on YouTube and Zoom. But again, with Marilyn Sumner, she said site 303. Let me go and grab site 303 and just get the link for this thrown out. This is going to be Brianna Augustus Design. So let me get that site pulled up over here for you guys. And actually, let me just copy the URL here. And I'll throw it out to you guys on YouTube. Let's see. Home Phone says Antarctica, the last continent. Doug said Alaska. He wants to go to Alaska. Let's see. I saw somebody say over here Japan, India, is it Nepal? Nice. Definitely great places to go. I have never been to any of those places. Definitely a couple of those places. Japan's definitely on my bucket list for sure. Antarctica, I don't know, man. I don't know, Home Phone. Antarctica it sounds really, really cold, and I don't do really well in the cold. Katie said Egypt, Turkey, and Greece. Oh, would love to go to Greece. Some good food in Greece. Okay, and let's see again. Marilyn said site 303. Let me get that site pulled up here. We'll get 15 minutes up on the clock. This is going to be a Brianna Augustus Design. So let's go ahead and get that 15 minutes up on the clock, and we'll get that review going. All right, here we go. So just starting out up here, we've got Brianna Augustus Design, about, portfolio, client access, contact, blog, your account. And then down here, explore and shop the work of Brianna Augustus, an independent photographer, writer, painter, graphic designer, filmmaker based in New Orleans, Louisiana. And it looks like so far we're using a grid here. So let's take a look at these images really quick. Really interesting images. Look at this. These are just really, really cool. So one of the things I will comment on these images is I'd like to see these. Pardon me, my Great Dane just woke up. I would like to see these images. I don't know what the word exactly that I'm looking for is, maybe curated a little bit more. So what I mean is that we kind of have a chunk of like photojournalism, protest photos here. Same thing right down here. And then kind of in between, we have some art stuff right here. So these feel like they're kind of chunked together. And what I'd love to see is I would love to see these maybe diversified a little bit more and spread out to where we don't see a bunch of the same type of photo here. Because again, this homepage, you're trying to captivate people with the type of work that you do. Maybe spreading these out a little bit more, not having them so chunked together would be a nice thing to do. It would give us a quicker overview of the diversity of your work. I think you have some really cool photos though, some really interesting stuff. The other thing that I will point out here as well is that it does say that you are a designer. It says graphic design right here. Would love to see a logo here. So right now this is the, what is this called? Your display name is what this is called. So this is just the display name. Would love to see a logo here. Maybe it's in the works. Maybe the site's brand new and you haven't got that far yet. I totally understand. But definitely as a designer, a graphic designer, you're definitely going to want to have a really eye-catching custom logo showing up here as well. Let's go ahead and follow your site menu here. So let's go check out your About page first. So nice job having an About photo. Thumbs up on that. Again, super important to let people see what you look like. I know as a photographer myself, I kind of hate having my photo taken. Like, let's just be honest. Anybody else out there like that? Or is it just me that's like that. As a photographer, like I seriously kind of hate having my photo taken. That's partly why I decided to become a photographer and be on the other side of the camera. But again, that might just be me. Anybody else feel that way? Okay, but nice job having a photo. And you have some information here. So again, we have based in New Orleans, Louisiana. So right out the gate, I know where you're from and I already know the type of work that you do. Those are two really big wins, Brianna, on your site. So many times the type of work that you do and the location that you work out of, that you serve, is something that we have to go searching for on the site. And I love that you have set this up and made it to where that's information that you kind of answer already for us. So good job not making that information that we have to search for. So, and again, you have a lot of good information in here, making history one venture at a time, raised in Tennessee, as a photographer. Okay, and so here's again, really cool welcome message, a lot of good text information in here. For me, this is just a personal thing. For me, it always comes across a little weird to me when I go to your website. I typed in BriannaAugustusDesign.com and I see your about page and it's written in the third person point of view. Now, I definitely am not educated enough to have a strong professional opinion on the matter. This is just my personal opinion. I know there's lots of websites, lots of people out there that will tell you that this is how you should professionally write your welcome message. And if that's the way that you want to do it, that's totally up to you. But again, for me, it always seems a little weird when I go to your website with your name and I'm reading your about message and it's written like somebody else wrote it. And so for me, it just always reads to me a little bit weird. Not sure what you guys think about that in chat. Again, that's just my personal opinion. Remember, your about message is where you are telling your potential visitors or your potential clients and your visitors if they're going to like you as a person, if they're going to like you as somebody that they work with, if they relate to you. This is where you make that connection, right? Hopefully the images on your homepage have captured their attention enough to learn about you as a photographer. And then when they move into that about page, this is where you want to make that connection with you and that potential client, of talking about things that is important to you, showing how, you know, maybe the music that you listen to, all kinds of different things like that, that can let them say, okay, not only do I really love their work, but I also like this person. And I feel like we're connected, like we relate, like we're going to get along, like we're going to create some beautiful images. That is my take on what an about page should be. Just a personal thing. Let me know what you guys think in chat about that. Lots of good information here, though. Let's go ahead and go check out your portfolio. Again, this portfolio is kind of leading to a group page where we kind of have to do the clicking around quite a bit. So now I have to click here. And then I have to go back to portfolio again if I want to go view a different section of your portfolio. Whereas I could just have to do the drop down every single time. And again, that's going to speed that navigation up for your visitors, right? Your goal on this navigation is to get people to the information that they want to see and that you want them to see as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And so doing that, setting up a drop-down menu is going to let that be much easier for them than having to click here, click on one of these, go back here, and then go back to another one of these. Okay, let's go ahead and click in here and take a look. All right, so really cool coverage of the BLM protests right here. Love that you kind of have this in the forefront. So a couple of things here. Again, I've already kind of talked about these, but I'm going to reiterate them again. Thinking about the title, thinking about the caption right up here, right? So what kind of information could you put in here that will help lead people to this? What are people searching for that would want to see this, right? Putting that information in the caption and then also categorizing, keywording, and then setting that to show down here, right? Also, is there a call to action that you want people to take? This is one of the things that I like to talk about a lot on Site Review Tuesday, right? Is you've created beautiful images, and let's say you've put in the time to keyword the photos, you've added text, so your information and your photos are showing up really nice in search results, and you get somebody landing on this page who have just found you organically by doing Google search results. What do you want them to do once they get here? Think about that. How can you communicate that to them using the captions and different things like that? What do you want people to do once they see your work? Do you want them to contact you? Do you want them to browse the images and see what print sizes they're available to be purchased in? Do you want to make a connection with them to possibly collaborate? What do you want people to do when you do get them here? And how are you going to communicate to them? Think about that. Okay. All right, let's go back to the portfolio. 410 Aerial Photography and Inspection says, how do you add a nice drop-down menu? There should be there should be a video tutorial on our YouTube channel. If you just search for navigation, I'm sure Katie has probably already found it and put the link in chat for you guys. But there should be a video on that on our YouTube channel. But let's go ahead and take a look. Again, some really cool photos. Loving the kind of dark artsy side of things that I'm seeing. Here's some really cool stuff. So just really interesting. And again, same feedback I'm having before. Let's think about the title of the gallery. Let's think about the gallery captions, the keywords, but some really interesting stuff. Let's take a look at this really quick. Just really cool stuff. Look at this. All right, let's go back. And again, having to click back on portfolio. And let's go check out, let's see your painting. It's been a while since we've looked at a painting one. So let's see your painting here. Beautiful, beautiful painting. Look at that. Okay, so really we need more information in here, right? There's not a lot of information that tells us about this. This painting, I know that you have it titled She Is, but the type of people that would buy this painting, what types of things are they searching for? How are you going to get this in front of the people that would purchase this? What types of things are they searching for? Do you know what they're searching for? If you don't, you need to do some research and then think about how you can title this, how you can caption this, how you can keyword it to get that information showing up on search results to the people who are looking for this type of stuff to purchase. So something to think about here. Now, I do notice that you have a logo up here. So you have a logo here. We didn't see a logo on the homepage, but I do see where we're having some kind of this yellow pull into the logo on your quick shop. So something to think about here. Again, branding consistency. As a graphic designer, I'm sure that you know how important branding consistency is. And so getting that logo, and that's a square logo, so that logo would also work really nicely on that side panel homepage that you have going on as well. So definitely something to think about is, can you get this logo showing on the homepage? If you're not sure where to do that, then you need to look up the Zenfolio live stream where we do a whole live stream. We talk about logos. There's actually a PDF that you can download that will show you where you can upload logos, actually give you the max file sizes for logos and all of that good stuff. So take a look at that as well. Something to think about. All right, let's keep going here. Let's go back and let's take a look at your rest of your portfolio. Let's see. Let's check out your photojournalism. Really cool stuff. All right, lots of cool stuff in here. Looks like you're out covering a lot of these. Hopefully you're staying safe. And when you're covering these, hopefully everybody is staying safe. But just really cool stuff. But again, we have these wonderful images, these really great photojournalism images, but we don't have any information to get us here, right? Nothing in the caption, nothing in the categories and keywords. And so there's not a lot of information here to really get people to your site to see your work. And that's something that you want to think about. All right. Let's go to your client access. This should be the built-in client access page. Just curious to make sure that it is. And so if you guys that are watching this right now, if you're not sure what client access is, it is a method that you can use to get clients directly to their gallery. It's not my particularly favorite method because it does require an extra step from you, the photographer, to actually create a client ID. but it is a method that you can use to get your clients directly to their galleries. And if you're curious about it, you could probably just go to our YouTube channel, and I'm sure Katie will find the tutorial before I even finish saying it, but you can go to the YouTube channel and do a search for client access, and there's probably at least 3 videos that cover how to set this up and use it. You have some nice stuff here. Now, one of the things I do like to point out, guys, the client access page is strictly for your clients, right? Meaning that most of the people who go here are already your clients. So obviously you're going to have some website visitors click this to take a look at things, but most of the time it's going to be your clients looking here. And so this is a great place to just show a little bit of appreciation to your clients. Say, have an image that tells them thank you, how much you appreciate their business. If you are, and most of us are small businesses as photographers. We're small businesses. We're supporting families. We're doing all kinds of different things. And this is a great place to show that and to let your clients know just how much you appreciate them and what they're actually supporting when they hire you or buy your images, right? This is a great place to make that connection and let them know. So something to think about here. How can you do that with the images and the text that you have here? Obviously, you do still need to communicate instructions, but also here you can have some images just thanking somebody for being a client and letting them know what their money is supporting and making a connection with them. Let's go check out your contact page really quick. This is the built-in contact page. Definitely easy to set up, easy to use. You basically don't have to do anything. It's already set up for you, fully functional, good to go. Nothing wrong with that. Now let's click on the blog. And as I believe Kathy is saying on YouTube, the blog is actually going to an external website. And this is definitely an option that you have. So if you already have a blog set up somewhere and you don't want to rebuild your blog on Zenfolio, using your site menu, you can actually link to external websites. You just have to use the external website linking option. It should be in the site menu video that's out there. And Brianna, I do want to give you a big thumbs up. You set this up right, because when we clicked on that and we left the Zenfolio account, it opened in a new tab. So all we have to do to get back to your website, or your Zenfolio site at least, is to click back on here. So nice job having that set up. Okay. The biggest things for me is I think, again, which it usually is that portfolio navigation, thinking about how can you make that more efficient? How can you get people more quickly and more efficiently to what they're actually looking for? How can you get them to see what you want them to see? Let's get that logo on your homepage here. Let's establish that branding consistency. And then just thinking about SEO, right? About titles, keywords, captions, and all of that good stuff. But Brianna, thank you so much for submitting your site. Hopefully I gave you some good tips, some good hints, some good things to think about. We really appreciate you submitting your site for review. Okay, let me see. Let me stop my screen share for a second. I'll turn my video back on. There we go. All right, I'm going to have Katie come on here in a second and talk to you guys. But hey, again, if you have... Whoa, Katie is in a kaleidoscope. Check it out. Is that a real kaleidoscope, Katie, or is that like a filter that you have going
I'll show you, Robert.
Either way, that's super
cool.
That's super cool. But Katie's going to jump on here and talk to you guys for a second. You still have a few minutes left, so if you haven't submitted your site for review, again, make sure that you click that link, get your website in there, because when I come back, we're going to be reviewing one of your guys' sites who are hanging out with us live. I'm going to hand it over to Katie, and she's going to show us her kaleidoscope secrets.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for Site Review Tuesday. I wonder if anyone else has been experimenting in the time of quarantine, but I got a Prism, so I've been seeing what kinds of things I can make with that, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So if any of you have any fun new equipment or random stuff that you've been finding around your house that you've been able to use for your photography, I'd personally love to hear more about that in the chat. Want to say hello to everyone and thank you for joining us. I've really loved the sites today. I thought that Robert and Brianna both had some really strong photos. So I hope that you're all learning so much about what you can do with your site. As always, love having you on here all the time. Home phone. Um, you know, I stay smiley because I've got such really wonderful, supportive community around me all the time. Being part of Zenfolio is just really such a blessing for me, and being able to hang out with you all every Tuesday is just too much fun for me. So what's not to smile about? And I'm so excited about learning what a lens ball is, Kathy. I'm gonna have to check that out for sure. Um, I did want to mention that you should keep an eye out for our giveaways that we do during Site Review Tuesday, and on YouTube Live on Thursdays for Zenfolio Live. Um, in any case, if you find this helpful and you'd like to leave us a nice review, we would love to hear from you. You can leave us nice reviews on Facebook or Google. And please also show Robert some love by liking the video if you're catching us on YouTube. He puts a lot of work into this stuff for you guys. So if you can just click that like button, that would be sweet. And also be sure to subscribe to the YouTube Zenfolio channel so that you get updates and notifications when we come on live. So I hope that this info is good for you guys. Doug, we don't do the giveaways with every broadcast, but we do them fairly regularly. We did a huge giveaway for August because it was our 200th episode. So for that broadcast, we actually gave away a total of $200 to Zenfolio users. So we've been kind of rebuilding our giveaways budget, but please keep an eye out. We are planning to do more of those giveaways for our Zoom audience and our YouTube audience. So thank you all so much for joining us. I'm going to stop running my mouth and send this back on to Robert. Thank you, Robert, for everything you do.
Hey, thank you so much, Katie. Again, Katie does a wonderful job hanging out with me on Tuesdays and emergency filling in for me on Thursdays. She's always there to help, and I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys show her some love. She helps me answer questions, helps me pronounce names when I fail miserably, because as you guys know, I do. And hey, what do you guys think about the background photo? I know it's not quite officially fall yet, but us North Carolinians are ready for some cooler weather. What about you guys out there? I enjoyed the weekend temperature. It was like in the, I think, 80s. And so I actually got to go outside without being drenched in sweat for like the first 5 minutes, which is nice because it gets really, really humid here in North Carolina. So I am really, really thankful for all of that. Okay, let's see. Let me get my screen share going back again. Let's see here. That's so weird. Why is my screen share being weird? There we go. All right. It's time for the live chat audience site review. Here we go. Okay, so live chat site review. And today's website is coming from Photomentum, and it's photomentum.com. We're going to get 15 minutes up on the clock. So I think this is, let me go back to the submission really quick and see. Whoa. My light is flickering, you guys. Not sure what that means. Let's see. Who is this one from? This is from Doug. So, hey, Doug, thanks for submitting your site today and hanging out with us. Glad that you got to join us today. But we're going to go ahead and get 15 minutes up on the clock. I'm going to throw the link out for you guys in chat really quick. Let's do for you guys in Zoom as well. What's Lynn saying? Lynn's saying background reminds me of Asheville. Man, I'm ready to go visit Asheville. I am way overdue for a trip to the mountains. Let me tell you that. Okay, let's give 15 minutes up on the clock before I talk us out of time, and we'll get started. All right, just starting here on the homepage. Got the green going, so through the whole thing, I've noticed it kind of got this green going. Really cool. One of the things I love here, Doug, is that you talk about where you're located and what you photograph. So in the first like 2 seconds of being on your site, I already know where you're located, the type of photography that you do. And so this is a really, really great thing right here, just in the first few seconds of your website. Knowing that information is really, really, really good. Also, looks like you run a photography club in your community that adjusted to the remote meetings due to COVID. Nice. So lots of good stuff here. You're off to a really strong start SEO wise. Guys, this is how you use a welcome message right here. Look at all of this information right here. So Doug is got his location in there. He has the type of photography he does. He also has photography club in there, COVID-19. So lots of really high search keywords are already showing up in that welcome message. So big thumbs up to you there, Doug. I know you can't see it, but I'm doing 2 thumbs up to you. Let's go ahead and cruise through your portfolio really quickly. Let's go hit up the portfolio. And you guys have heard me talk this whole time about drop downs. It looks like Doug's been listening. I know Doug hangs out with us on Site Review Tuesdays quite a bit. It looks like he's been listening. He's got this drop down menu set up, and this is what makes your site navigation super easy to navigate through when you have these drop downs, because then when I hover over this, then we're going to click on portraits and we can really quickly and easily just go to the portrait portfolio. Now, one of the things that you might want to look at, Doug, as you guys are seeing right here, this logo. Now, this is probably due to the size of the window. And as you see, as I spread that window out, that logo does kind of uncover stuff. But whenever you have a large logo, whenever you have a large or long display name, one of the things that you might think about doing is setting up your header menu to use, I think it's layout B, where it displays that logo over the top and it displays the navigation underneath in a menu bar. So that's going to prevent this from ever happening, because that navigation will actually be under that logo in the menu bar. And so no matter what screen I'm viewing it on, I'm not going to see this kind of covered up here. So one of the things to think about here. Okay, let's take a look at this. The other thing that we're looking at here is we do see right here, caption, okay? And what's really cool is that this is linked to Indiana University, right? So we're seeing right here this kind of Indiana University portrait, senior portrait here. And right here, he talks about this, and then he's linking directly to it. So guess what that does for your SEO? Super helpful. Also, if the University of Indiana is linking back to you at all, then again, link backs are super powerful for SEO as well. So something to think about there. Okay, so let's go down to your categories and keywords. Nice job here. We have categories people, subcategory portraits, keywords right here. One thing I would say is don't shy away from using keyword phrases, right? So there's several different kinds of keywords, not several, but there's 2 different kinds of keywords you can use. There's a single or a standalone keyword, which is what you're seeing here. Indiana, portrait, university, photography, senior. And then you can do a keyword phrase, which is where you would combine a couple of words together and close them in quotation marks. And that is going to be a keyword phrase, which can be helpful as well. All right, so something to think about there, doing a combination of those different things. So a couple of standalone individual keywords and then using a couple of keyword phrases would be helpful as well. Now I want to go back to this link really quick and kind of clarify. Linking out to the Indiana University, that alone is not enough to really help your SEO. You need people linking back. So this is where you do kind of a, I think it's called like a, I can't remember the best term to use, so I'm not going to use the term that came to mind, but this is like a this for that. So basically contacting them saying, hey, I just want to let you guys know I linked to your guys' site from this page where I show some images. Can you guys link back to me? And that link back is what really gives you the biggest benefit in your SEO. So I do want to clarify that you do want to get that link back if you can. Okay, but it's a really good start right here. Okay, let's go back up to the portfolio. And even though your logo is hovering over it, we can still access it. So that is really nice. That we're going to do, we're going to go right here to birds and we'll take a look at your birds. No, looks like everything is super consistent. Nice job there. Everything's staying the same. I don't feel like we're going to a different website. We're not seeing different colors. Everything is super consistent. Again, really nice use of the caption, the keywords, all of that stuff right here. Now, one of the things I will point out, Doug, is it is kind of utilizing this left-handed layout. And so if I could give any kind of constructive criticism, it would be to maybe think and try this out with it. Think about and try this out with a couple of different layouts. There is a layout where you can set the caption to center over the top of the images, and then the categories and keywords actually show up down here in the bottom left hand. And the only reason that I mention that is because when you get kind of past this section, this little bit of side space here that's kind of empty, it's just a little awkward, not a huge deal. But it is a little awkward when you get to this kind of section down here. So just something to think about, not a deal breaker or anything like that. Just a little bit of constructive criticism that I can find to give you. Because I love that you're nailing the SEO stuff. Really great job here. Again, let's go down. Let's check out your wildlife photos really quick. And it goes without saying, we're seeing some absolute beautiful photos. Just absolutely gorgeous photos. Lots of beautiful photos. Same feedback here. Everything is super consistent. So just thinking about the layout, let's take a look at your landscape photos really quick. Look at this, you guys. Beautiful, beautiful photos. Right here, again, utilizing the caption. Really great use of the caption right there. Nicely done. Let's take a look at these images and see what happens when we click on them. All right. So looking at these images, we have the quick shop going on. Let's scroll through some of these photos because I know that some of these are coming in at different aspect ratios. So one thing that you might think about here, Doug, is these images that are panoramic sizes. You might think about having a panoramic price list for those images. And then when we get to the images that are more 3:2, which I don't know if this one is exactly, but it looks pretty close to a 3:2 aspect ratio image. You can actually create a price list to apply specifically to this image so that we can buy print sizes that are better suited for this particular image. And then you can go apply that directly to the image. Now, if you're not sure how to do that, that is something that we teach on the advanced selling training session. So I think if you're on YouTube, you can sign up for that. The link is in the description below to sign up for that. And I do believe that there are a couple of videos that talk about this, but just that little bit of extra information there, making it really simple so that me, the client, can buy this image in the best suited print size for it and not something that's going to crop the photos off. Really nicely done though. Very beautiful, beautiful images. Really well done. Let's go take a look at your blog. All right. September 7th. Nice. You blogged yesterday. Well done. August 29th, August 23rd, August 17th. So it looks like you are just killing it on the blog game. Like, nice job there. Well done on the blog. Guys, I always say this when I come to a blog. A lot of times I'll see blogs where there might be a post once every couple of months. Really well done. If you're going to have a blog and have that blog physically or visible on your site and in your site menu, really you want to try to blog once a week. If not, at the minimum, you definitely want to get a blog post in there at least once a month. The worst thing that possible it could be is somebody clicks on a blog and they don't see a blog for several months or maybe even a year, especially right now with COVID going on and so many people not sure if different places are still in business. If you're still doing photography, you want to let people know that you're still in business, that you're still thriving, that you're still active. And also blogs are just really good for your SEO. So if you're going to have a blog on there, you need to make sure that you're blogging at least once a month. Better if you can do it once a week. It doesn't have to be anything really fancy. A couple of images and some text in there, and that suffice. If you want to sit down and spend more time in it, definitely the more you put into it, the better. But just make sure that you keep that blog fresh and current, okay? Let's just take a look here. Look at this blog post. This is amazing. Nicely, nicely done. Lots of good text and information in there. Really well done. Let's go check out your Who I Am really quick. Married with 2 dogs. All right, nice. Very, very cool. So lots of good information in here. Love that it shows you with a photo of your camera. Love that it has a photo in here. You talk about being married with kids, so right away, and dogs, and a dog's like right away, I'm like, okay, this guy's married. He has kids. He has a dog. Like me and this guy can get along and talk. And that's exactly what you want this about photo to, and this about section to do. You want this to be where people know that they can relate to you and that they're going to get along with you and that they're going to like you. Really nicely done here. Talk about, again, you reiterate where you're from. You talk about the type of photography you do. You mention your blog posts. I love that you are utilizing the ability to actually link to things in here. So rather than just writing text, you actually have these linked. So if I wanted to click on the photography club, it looks like that's going to take me, and I'm not going to log into Facebook, but it looks like it's going to take me to your photography club on Facebook. So nice job utilizing that linking option in here. Really well done. Let's go back and let's take a look at some more of your portfolios here. So I just want to take a look at the Whiskey City here. Some really cool photos. Love the photos as well. Let's just kind of browse and take a look at this. Nice. Really nicely done. Beautiful, beautiful work. Lots of good stuff. One of the things I would definitely think about is, as it looks like you're doing kind of like bike race work. So one of the things you definitely might think about distinguishing between your portfolio, where you might show only the best images from your events, right? So you might have a distinguishing point to where it's portfolio and then events. So if you go out and you're photographing events, you're probably going to want to upload all of the photos from that event because you're going to want anybody going to your site or anybody from that event to be able to go and find their photos. And you probably want to distinguish that separately, because if I'm going to your site as a visitor, never having interacted with you, but I came across your site through searching and I want to see your best work, that is where we want to see in the portfolio. So I would consider moving down the line, not linking to your event galleries in the portfolio, but having an event portfolio where you're pulling the best handful of your best event images and putting them into a gallery that's a little more curated and not just all of the images. And then having a separate menu item where it's an events drop down to where then if I was at this race and I knew that you photographed it, maybe I got a card from you or something like that, I could hover over the events, see my event in the drop down, click on that, and then I would be taken to a gallery here where then I could go through and I could browse and view all of the photos that you took from the event. So kind of making that distinguished separation between what is a place where people go to see the examples of your work and what is a place where people that you have photographed go to see all of the photographs from that particular event. That way, the navigation, again, is going to be much more efficient. Again, the most important thing on your website is making sure that the navigation is efficient, getting people to what you want them to see and what they want to see as quick and as fast as possible without them having to do a lot of clicking around. And you've got a really, really strong start here. Again, I would just start to think about making that particular separation. Let's go take a look at cities really quick. Cincinnati, Kentucky. Let's go. Nice. Very, very cool. Look at this. Just beautiful city work. Beautiful, beautiful photos. Doug, I know you're hanging out with us on YouTube. What is your favorite city to photograph? Everybody else on Zoom and YouTube, if you photograph landscapes, cityscapes, curious, what is your favorite city that you have recently photographed if you've done so? Let me know in the chat. Curious to see what you guys say. But these are some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful photos. Look at this panoramic shot right here. This is Cincinnati, Ohio. Look at that. Just absolutely gorgeous. Love the reflection. Love the lights. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's go look at some more of your blog. Michael B says Black Hawk, Colorado. That sounds interesting. Belinda says Boston. Nice. Nice. I think my favorite city that I ever got to photograph was probably, I haven't photographed a lot of different cities. The funnest one that I've ever done, I think, was Harrisburg. Actually, I had a lot of fun photographing downtown Harrisburg. All right, let me stop sharing my screen here. Get back here. Unfortunately, guys, we are out of time. I do want to say thank you so much to all of you guys who hung out with us today, submitted your sites. Hopefully, I gave you some good pointers, some good insights, shared some good tips with you guys. Let's see, a couple of you guys, let me give you some shout outs to people hanging out with us on YouTube. Kathy, 410 Aerial Photography, Lynn, Home Phone, Doug, Donald, Michael B. Anybody else that I missed? Noel, all of you guys hanging out with us on YouTube. Thanks for jumping on here and hanging out with us. If you guys are hanging out with us on Zoom, let's see, where's my participant thing? It always goes away. Let's see. Attila, Belinda, Eduardo, Marilyn, and Laura, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. Don't forget Site Review Tuesday coming up this Thursday, same time, same place. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. Until Thursday, make sure that you do, actually not until Thursday, just make sure that you do something nice for somebody. Encourage somebody, lift somebody up, tell somebody something good about themselves. Let's all work together to make this world a better place. It could really use it right now. Thank you guys again for hanging out with us. I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. I will see you guys again on Thursday. Don't forget, Thursday, Zenfolio Live is going to be an awesome live stream that you don't want to miss. So I'll see you guys there. Thanks for hanging out.